The former president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, remains in custody tonight after being arrested when a warrant was issued by the International Criminal Court. Now let's have a quick look at today's dramatic developments. The 79-year-old former president was detained earlier this morning local time after arriving in Manila from Hong Kong. Local police acted on the ICC's arrest warrant, accusing him of crimes against humanity over his controversial and deadly war on drugs. Police records show that during his presidency, at least 6,200 people were killed by police and unknown assailants. But rights groups claim that figure is much higher. And let's go live now to Manila, where I'm joined by Ging Reyes, the former head of current affairs at Philippines broadcaster ABS-CBN. Regina, good to have you with us today. It's quite the development, but that only happened after police acted on that arrest warrant from the ICC. Can you give us a sense what's been happening in the background for that to finally happen, even though Duterte withdrew the Philippines from the ICC more than 5 years ago?
Good afternoon from the Philippines, Girish. Yes, we did take ourselves out of membership of the ICC when Duterte took power, but it did not really take effect until later. And so for the period that the alleged crimes against humanity were committed, we were still members or part of the ICC, and that is why the case or the complaint against him was pursued. And even if the Marcos government swore that it was not cooperating at all with the ICC, they had to follow the process and respect the warrant that was then issued by Interpol, because the Philippines is a member of Interpol. And I guess that did happen, and the execution was pretty solid this morning. There were no unnecessary leaks. Of course, over the weekend, there was a lot of speculation among media and pundits that there was an impending arrest, and it was exacerbated. You know, those speculations were further, exacerbated by news and by the fact that the former president flew to Hong Kong. But then he returned, and this morning, he was served the arrest warrant, and now he's in custody.
Yeah, and given those reports were swirling around, as you say, was Rodrigo Duterte expecting to be arrested, or was he surprised that this would happen?
He did say that he had information that the arrest warrant was out already for him. So he had an idea, and I think his entourage when he went to Hong Kong is also evidence of the fact that he had an idea of what was about to happen, because there were also security people around him even during his trip.
Okay, so now he is in custody at that airbase in Manila. What's expected to happen tomorrow or in the coming days?
Well, it is a long process, as even the lawyers of the complainants attest. He would be, I am not very familiar with the measures to be undertaken, but it will be quite a while, because they have to decide when he will be, or where he will be taken into custody, as the Philippines is no longer a member of the ICC. So there are some voices that say they prefer him to be taken directly to The Hague, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, of course. But this, though, must come as some good news for those who have lost loved ones from Duterte's war on drugs, especially with rights groups saying that these were extrajudicial killings.
Definitely, the police figures are really far from the figures being cited by human rights groups. They put the number at around 30,000, whereas the police only say they have about 6,000 or so extrajudicial killings. Of course, during those years under Duterte, even the media couldn't really, say extrajudicial killings in that manner. We were careful that we we had to stay balanced. We had to look at, the police reports, but there was really a lot of those suspected drug pushers and users who were just killed in their homes. And it's uncanny that they all had guns, and they had this. The accusation was that they fought back or they were nanlaban, as we say in Filipino.
Yes.
But a lot of human rights lawyers and the families attest that they were killed with no regard for any due process or any defense at all for these mostly small-time drug pushers and poor drug users who mostly lived in the slums and in the congested areas of Metro Manila.
And of course, there are those who loathe him, but also equally, he remains a popular figure in his home city of Davao, and he's got many supporters, and we saw some of them there where he was arrested. So are there security fears here? I mean, could things get ugly if this case advances a bit further?
Well, the former president still commands quite a large number of supporters. He is still very popular, not just in Davao. I am not sure that it will worsen, meaning there would be chaos in the streets. I don't foresee that. But I do know and I do expect that his supporters will make noise, will make a lot of noise, especially on social media, which has already begun. And they will try to elicit sympathy for him. As it is, his closest allies already allege that the arrest was illegal and that he is in need of medical treatment or health, that he has health concerns. So we can expect that. And considering that we are in the middle of an election campaign for the midterm elections in May in this country, we can also expect that this arrest will be used by both camps, those who support him and those who don't, as a campaign issue.
Yes, and then of course, were there political undertones as far as the timing of this arrest was concerned? Because the Philippines had until last year, under President Marcos Jr., refused to cooperate with the ICC about its investigations.
Yes, of course, there has been a falling out between the Dutertes and the Marcoses since last year. And they deny that this is politically motivated. And of course, the government, it is beyond the control. In fact, it is beyond the control of the administration, this arrest warrant. This is really a complaint that was filed by those brave families, survivors of the extrajudicial killings, that war on drugs that was really a sham if you now analyze it from, after a couple of years since he's been gone, since he left power. But a lot of things have happened between this alliance between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. So, well, speculations are rife that this was somehow going to be used against them, but we do not know that for sure. And as it is, because this was a complaint filed by, ordinary citizens of this country outside of the Philippine courts, the Marcos administration can always claim they have nothing to do with it, and that the legal problems of Mr. Duterte now is his and his alone, and that the Philippine government, the administration, cannot really do anything.
Okay, Regina Reyes, we'll have to leave it there for tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.